R programming for academic data analysis. In this webinar, we'll be talking about analysis of variance, correlation, linear regression, PCA analysis, as well as other ways we can use ChatGPT efficiently to generate R codes that will work on R. All right. Getting started with R and R Studio. What is R? What R Studio does? How to install them and what the interface looks like. Now, from the left side of my slide, we can see that an R is a free and open language for statistical computing and graphics. It is used for data analysis, visualization, modeling, and reporting. And this R programming language is widely used in academic research. What is R Studio? R Studio is the graphical interface of R. It's a user-friendly IDE. It helps you to write scripts, run codes, manage files, view plots, and also to install packages that work on R. Now, first, you need to install R. Following this link, for those of you that don't have R installed in your laptop, you can follow this link at cran.rproject.org. Then after installing R, then you go ahead to install R Studio Desktop, which you can download from this link. Now, on an R interface, on the R Studio panel, you have four different windows. One is your script editor. The one by top right corner is the environment, whereby your console is at the down left corner, as we would see during the practical section. And then your plots will always be displayed at the right bottom corner of the R Studio. All right. The key message here is that R is the statistical engine, while R Studio is the workspace that makes using R easier. So once you install R and R Studio, you don't have any reason to open the R programming language software itself. Every other activity you'll be carrying out with R will be on R Studio, as we will see shortly. Now, packages and R tools for beginners. Now, I want us to visualize packages as applications that we install on our phone. Take R as the, let's say if you're using an Android phone, the Android operating system, while packages, take them as the different softwares. For instance, you can have a Facebook app on your phone. So a Facebook app in the phone is like a package in R, right? So to be more specific, packages are add-ons that extend what R can do. They help with data import, cleaning, visualization, statistics, and reporting. Almost every activity you'll be carrying out in R will be made possible via some specific packages that are dedicated to specific tasks, right? So how do you use packages in R? After installing your R, you need to install the package, each package for a specific purpose. For instance, you can install ggplot2 for visualization. Then after installing this ggplot2, for example, you load it with this library command. So installing a package is not enough. You have to load that package before you can make use of that package in R. Once you start a new section on R, no package is loaded except the default packages that keeps R running. For you to use any specific package, you will have to load that package. Just like the way for you to use a WhatsApp app on your phone, you have to open that app. It's the same thing. So install packages. Once you, I will show us how to install packages later during the practical section. Your R has to be connected to the internet. One, right? Not your R in this case, but your computer has to be connected to the internet for you to install any package, because it has to download that package and install it automatically. Now, there are 6 useful packages for this webinar. Remember, we said we are going to be talking about ANOVA analysis. We are going to be talking about linear regression. We are going to plot correlation maps, heat maps, and then we are going to plot PCA. So we are going to, this analysis will be made possible using a package known as readxl to dplyr data. 3, ggplot2. All these are packages. 4, corplot, a short form for correlation plot, for visualization, for correlation visualization. Then 3, agricole, basically used for analysis and post hoc test. Then the 6th one is factor mine R for PCA. While for PCA visualization, you have to install factor extra. Now, there is another tool that is very, very important, because in our environment, in some laptops or in some computers, to download packages or in downloading packages, you encounter some challenges. So how do you prevent these challenges? Is by installing a tool known as R tools. R tools is mainly for Windows users, not for Mac users. It helps R build some packages from the source. Many beginners may not need it immediately, but it is useful when a package requires compilation, because some packages just come without compilation, right? They require compilation before they can be installed in your R library. So you will need R tools. You can get this R2 software from CRAN, the same website you download the R programming language. Now, the best practice is to first install R, then R Studio, then required packages, and then install R tools only if needed. But I would always advise us to install RTools almost immediately after installing RStudio. It will help you to install every package smoothly without facing any difficulty. Package give R its power. R2 supports package building when needed. Now, how do you prepare your R environment? First, in this class, for those of us that have R installed in their laptops, you have to check if your R is properly installed, RStudio is properly installed, and then required packages are installed. Then RTools install only if it's needed. And then your data set is ready. Now, I must say this before my next slide. You cannot just feed R with raw data without it being organized in such a way that R recognizes it. So we should put that at the back of our mind. 2, organize your workspace. Create a folder for this webinar. Save data and scripts in one place. Like I always teach any student that come around, I always tell you, once you are working on a project, you are working on a particular manuscript, try to create a folder so that every file that is associated with that manuscript, that is associated with that project, will be located inside that folder. Two, you have to open your RStudio and create a script by following these steps: file, new file, RScript. Save your script early so that to avoid the loss of any information. Write code in the source pane. All this I will show us the practical. Then run code into the console. 4 is to test that everything works. Once you type this command, get working document with an empty apostrophe, it will give you the info of the working document. Now, R doesn't just work with every folder in your system. You have to set a particular working environment. You have to set a particular working environment. Environment in this case is folder. By default, when you open R, the working directory is the document folder. However, you may want to work on a file that is located in another location within your computer. So you have to set it to, you have to set the working directory to that particular folder for R to be able to access any file within that folder. If you type in this command and you don't receive any error, it means your R's is well set up. Once you type in a command in R and you didn't receive any error, it means you are good to go. But as long as there is any single mistake, if it is a comma that you are supposed to include in that command prompt, and then you skip it, it will return with an error. R is case sensitive. If your file is named using small letters, and then in your command, you type maybe the first character as capital letter, R will return an error. So you have to be almost very perfect anytime you want to send a command to R. So in this webinar, one of the core message I want to teach us is that you don't have to cram or memorize every code. All you just need is a generative AI. You can tell ChatGPT, for instance, to write a code using agricole to carry out the ANOVA of so file. And then ChatGPT will generate a code for you that you can copy and paste into R, which makes the whole experience very, very smooth and easy. Let me repeat it again. You don't have to memorize codes because the codes are numerous. And R doesn't pardon you for any error in the code. So to avoid wasting time, just prompt your generative AI to generate a code specifying the package and the outputs that you need. And then our faithful generative AI will always generate a working code for you that in most cases will not return with error. A well-prepared R environment saves time, makes the practical session smoother. If you can integrate generative AI and R together within just 1 minute or 2 minutes, you will be able to analyze your result and generate a very nice output, which can be downloaded almost immediately. What could normally take you hours using Excel, for instance, or Origin software, with R, the right packages, and your generative AI, you can easily analyze and visualize your data. So the next is preparing your data properly in Excel. Before we go forward, Excel can save your data sheet in several formats, but I recommend saving it in just 2 formats, depending on your need. First, the format with the extension of XLSX, which is the normal Excel file extension, and then the other one is the CSV. But for this webinar, we'll be using only XLSX extension, right? By the left side of my slide here, we can see a well-tidied data structure, ID, and treatment. R only analyzes numerical data. R only analyzes numerical data, right? But you have to give your column headings and row headings accordingly. Do not skip some cells. Do not match cells. Do not put comments or totals inside a data sheet like this. Your labels should be on the first row, just like this. Now, to avoid all these issues in data arrangement, you can upload your raw data to generative AI for it to arrange that data in such a way that it is acceptable in R or by R. You can prompt ChatGPT this way. Format this result output, or format this data to R software standard, or format this data to be analyzed in R, and then it will always give you these two options, XLSX and CSV. According to my slide here, we recommend a simple format of CSV. But in our webinar tonight, we are going to be working with XLSX. This is very, very important because there are some commands in R that you have to specify the file, including the extension of the file. On your normal GPU, you might just see the name of the file without the extension. But for R, you have to specify the extension for it to be able to read that data set. So first, arrange your Excel file, save clean file, import to R, then analyze with confidence. Key takeaway here is that a clean, well-arranged Excel data reduces error and makes your R section smoother. So we can see that working with R is not all that very, very difficult, because I know so many students, once they hear programming language, there's this fear that comes to them. Oh, I don't have any good background in computer science. I don't know anything about programming. But in this webinar, I want to show you that you can use your R effectively with zero knowledge of coding. I repeat myself again. You can use R to analyze data with zero knowledge or with zero coding knowledge, as long as you have your generative AI. with you. Now, there are 4 statistical analysis we are going to be doing with R programming language tonight. First is ANOVA. ANOVA is analysis of variance used to compare means across group. ANOVA is always used when you have one response variable and categorical groups. For instance, if you have a pretreatment, as our research may be, right? We have a pretreatment, and then pretreatment across different samples. It will give you different data sets in categorical groups, right? So you need to check if there is any difference in the means of each treatment group. That is why you need ANOVA analysis, right? Then ANOVA analysis helps to answer whether group difference are statistically significant. Typical output are F values, P values, and post hoc tests. 2 is correlation analysis. Correlation analysis always give colorful displays, colorful output. It always beautifies your manuscript. In most articles published by Chinese, you will always see correlation analysis, right? It measures the strength and direction of relationship between variables. Now, because correlation gives you a very colorful display, it makes your manuscript presentation very beautiful. Pearson correlation coefficient R ranges from -1, which is no correlation between 2 groups, to +1, strong correlation. It is useful for checking whether variables move together. Typical output is correlation coefficient R and also P value, just as in ANOVA. Third is linear regression. Linear regression helps to predict outcomes based on a particular factor. You can predict the relationship between an independent variable and a dependent variable. You can decide to choose either of the variable to take either of the variable as either the dependent or the independent. So with linear regression, you will be able to see if there is a positive relationship between these 2 variables. Right? It will show you a slope just like this, with some data points scattered around the slope. Typical output is the equation, coefficients, R square value, and P values. The higher the R square value, the more or the stronger the relationship between those 2 variables. The fourth analysis we'll be doing with R today is PCA, Principal Component Analysis. PCA reduces many variables into few principal components. Sometimes in our analysis, or in our manuscript, we carry out different tests. In some manuscripts, we can measure more than 15 different parameters, sometimes 20 parameters. So for you to be able to check the relationship between these parameters, to see if a particular parameter or a particular set of parameters are related to each others in a certain pattern. You can use PCA analysis. PCA reduces many variables into a few principal components. It helps to visualize patterns, clusters, and separation. It is used for multivariate data sets. Just like I said, when you have different data sets from different parameters, right? Some parameters might be physical, some parameters might be chemical, some parameters might be structural. So you can group them and reduce them to a particular component. The typical output of PCA is PC scores, loadings, explained variance. So when do you use each of these analysis? When you want to compare groups, you use ANOVA. When you want to measure relationship, you use correlation. When you want to predict an outcome, you use regression. And when you want to reduce dimension and explore patterns, you can use PCA. These four tools form the foundation for simple academic data analysis. Irrespective of your field, even if you are in humanities, you can employ the use of some of these analysis. It will help upgrade your manuscript. So this is our last slide. Let's recap on what we have learned so far. First, R is a free software for statistical computing and graphics. R Studio is the workspace or the interface that you use to communicate with R on your computers. 3 is packages and R tools. Packages extend R. R tools may be needed only when necessary. 4, I showed us that you have to prepare your R environment. You have to install R Studio, install packages that are needed, and test that everything works. 5 is we saw that we have to arrange our data properly before it can be imported into R. 1 row equal to 1 observation, 1 column equals to 1 variable. Some simple, clean table, and save for import. Save it as either XLSX or CSV. The key analysis we discuss is the ANOVA, correlation, linear regression, and PCA. What you should now be ready to do. Now, before our practical session, for those of us that have R installed in our laptops, open R and R Studio. You can import well-arranged Excel file and CSV, then run simple analysis, then compare output with ChatGPT. So talking about ChatGPT, talking about comparing outputs with ChatGPT. With the advanced model of generative models, especially ChatGPT, you can run all these 4 analyses with one prompt. However, if you don't know how to prompt it very well, it might give you wrong output, right? But in a situation whereby you can prompt it very well, generative AI can generate this analysis for you. However, you might not be able to get the back-end files. But with R, you will be able to get the back-end files, right? So we're going to compare the two outputs, the one from generative AI directly and the one generated by R using codes generated by the generative AI. So I've come to the end of my slide. In a short while, we will be moving to the practical session where I will assume that we have all installed our R software, and then we'll be importing data sets to analyze. So right now, let's go on a 10-minute recess before we come back for the practical section. I hope we gain something today.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Sam. So let's use this few minutes to arrange our laptop and everything we need for the practical session. So 10 minutes, we'll be coming back by, so this is 7:47. So we'll be coming back by, let's say, 7:57. That's 10 minutes. So if you don't have R, you don't have the latest version, I'll use this period to download and install R. Install R tools too. So if you need help, you can drop the message. We will help you out. If you need help in anyone, we can help you out, please. And then if you need ChatGPT, you can send me a direct message, either here on the WhatsApp or WeChat group. So hi guys. So the break is over. Dr. San, I think we should start now.
Okay. All right. I want to welcome back to the practical session. I hope we can all see my screen. Can we all see our studio?
Yes, we can.
Just make it full, like so that we can see very well. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
All right. Okay, so this is R interface. Once you open the R software that is installed on your desktop, this is the interface that comes up. Okay. Remember I told us that on R you have 4 windows. One is the script editor. 2 is the environment. You can see environment is empty. 3 is the console. You can type in your commands here. You can also type in your command in the script editor. And then you can run the command from both, either from the console or from the script editor. And then your plots and your files will be displayed here. So first, to know which working directory that our section is on, we can type get working directory with an open parenthesis, right? Can we see my command? Get working directory with an open, with an empty parenthesis, and just click on enter. So you can see that our working directory is C, user, HP, documents, like I made mention earlier. By default, once you open your R programming language, the default working directory is the document. So you can save your data set in that document, right? Or if you want to save your data set in another document, you can change the working directory. Now, to change the working directory manually, you can click on session, set working directory, then choose directory. So keyboard shortcut is Control Shift plus H. Once you click on this, you navigate to the document folder. So for this webinar, I created a folder which is saved in my desktop under Smart Academic Writing in AI Era, and then down to webinar 7. Then I'll click on open. So automatically the session working directory have been changed to webinar 7. To confirm, we can still type in get working directory. Then we can see that our webinar 7, right, is the new working directory. So like I said, you can type in a command in the script editor and you can type in a command at the console. So like this, get working directory. But for any command you type in at this script editor, you have to click on run on that particular line for that command to be executed. But on this console, once you type in the command, just click enter and then it will be executed. But for any command written in this console, in this R script, you have to click on run. So once you run, the output displays here. So like I said, for you to use any package, you have to install that package, right? So let's say, for instance, we want to install Read Excel. Even though I've already installed Read Excel package on this R, so we can type in the command install packages. Just click on it, install packages. Then you type in the name of the package, Read Excel. when you run. Oh, you can see that there's an error. So like I said, anytime you make mistake, any mistake, R will return with an error. So what is the error in this? Install packages. You need to put the package inside quotation mark. You can see it's installing package. Read Excel successfully unpacked MDS sum checked, right? Loaded. So it has installed Read Excel. I only showed us this because Read Excel is already installed in R, in this R on my system. So after installing, you need to load the package, right? Just like the way you open a phone app on your mobile phone. For you to use that package to execute any analysis, right? So the packages we are going to be using today are 7 in number, which I will load them one after the other. To load a package, just type library, then the name of the package. You can see Read Excel have appeared because I've installed Read Excel on this R. So you will run. Once you run any command and R do not return with an error, it means that command is correct. It has been correctly executed. So we can type in the command here also, library agricole. Remember we said we're going to use agricole for post-op text. So here, just click on enter and then it's executed. Library GG plot 2. Library correlation plot, plot. So plot 0.95 is loaded. Library DP LR for data manipulation. It has been loaded. I'm loading all the packages we are going to be using for the 4 analysis. But ideally, if it's only ANOVA we want to do, I don't need to install all the packages. I just install I just load the packages that is needed for that particular ANOVA. And then if it is just correlation plots I want to prepare, I will only need to load the specific packages for correlation heat map. So library factor -R or PCA. If any of these package that I'm loading is not installed or in R, it will return an error saying package not found. Factor extra. All right. Now, for us to carry out any analysis on a data set, that data set needs to be loaded. So to load our Excel data set, I have named it as text. This is the result of my textile profile analysis that I carried out on yard long beans samples after vacuum steam post blanching. So you can see that the file extension is showing text.xlsf. So to load this data set, we can type in read_Excel. But like I said, no one needs to cram these codes. Generative AI can help you with the code. So text dot, we have to specify the extension XLSX. You close. So we can see that our data set is imported. A table 15 by 7. So 15 rows by 7 columns, as we can see. Right? But first, let me show us the data arrangement. Because if you could recall, I said your data have to be well arranged. Your data set have to be well arranged for R to read it successfully. So we can see the first column is the label, while every other information are numerical data. This is the treatment, replicate, and these are the responses: hardness, springiness, cohesiveness, gumminess, chewiness. Right? So in case you have your data set not arranged in this way, you can upload your data set into your generative AI to rearrange that data set in such a way that R can read it. So let me minimize this. Now, we need to give our data set a specific name. Let's say, for instance, my data. Want to name this data set that we just uploaded to my data, so that at any time we want to give R command, we will refer to our data set as my data. So to do this, you have to insert an assignment function. So for Windows users, you can type in the assignment operator by simultaneously pressing Alt and minus. This is how the assignment operator looks like. So my data is assigned to read underscore Excel. So to be sure that our data set is well loaded, we can check the head. Remember, we have renamed our Excel file as my data. So any subsequent command, we don't have to type in read Excel again. No, we just type in the name that we have given read Excel. So head my data. Head will always return with just the first 6 rows with all the columns. But it doesn't mean that the other rows are discarded. No, this is just a preview to show you that R has successfully loaded this data set. So, like I said, we don't have to cram these codes. Generative AI can always write these codes for you to use. These codes that I put in these tables, as you can see, were generated by ChatGPT. I only formatted it for this webinar, see, right? So first, we are going to carry out ANOVA with Agricole. Remember, I have loaded Agricole, so we can use Agricole. Here's a short introduction. Agricole package is widely used in agricultural and biological research because it provides ANOVA, post hoc, and experimental design tools. So next we have to, for ANOVA, we have to convert treatment to factors. Because in ANOVA, you can have 1-factor ANOVA, you can have 2-factor ANOVAs. So you have to specify the factor within the data set. In this example, vacuum steam pulse blanching is the treatment and is also the factor that we are considering. So to convert the treatment to factors, we'll type in this command. My data $VSPP renamed to as.factor, right? Like I said, no need to cram these codes. So next is the code for one-way ANOVA. One-way ANOVA means just a single factor ANOVA to test whether hardness differs significantly among the treatments. So to test that, We'll insert this code. And then running this will give us the summary of the ANOVA, because we've indicated in the second line of command that it should give the summary of the ANOVA model, right? Then we'll enter. So we can see within a split second, it has carried out the ANOVA of the whole data set between the vacuum steam pulse blanching and hardness. So as you can see, the F value is 258.9 and P value is 0.000 up to minus 10, raised to power minus 10. So it's highly significant. Significant codes, 0 is highly significant. If it is between 0.001 is significant also. And then the significance reduces as the p-value increases. Now the next thing is we want to visualize this ANOVA. But before we do that, we need to perform a post hoc test. In this case, Duncan multiple range test. Duncan multiple range test separates means and gives them significant rankings. So we type in this code, copy, paste, then enter. So we can see that the hardness has been ranked. The hardness groups have been ranked. This 0 to 4 is the vacuum steam pulse blanching treatment. 0 is fresh, no blanching. Then 1 blanching cycle, 2 blanching cycle, 3 blanching cycle, and 4 blanching cycle. Then we can see the groupings signified by different letters, A to E. Whenever you see 2 letters appear within the grouping, it means those treatments, there is no significant difference between them. Let's say, for instance, VSP1 and VSP2 all return with BB as their ranks. It means there is no significant difference between vacuum steam pulse blanching 1 and vacuum steam pulse blanching 2. Now, to visualize this ANOVA results in a graphical representation, we will need to use ggplot. Remember, we have loaded ggplot. As you can see, this code that I'm copying now is a very complex code, which on a normal node, we won't be expected to cram this code. So once we run this, we can see the plot. You can zoom to get a clearer view of the plot. Now, any color you want, anyhow you want this output to be, it will be specified within this code. Within this code. If peradventure I change any information within this code, let's say I remove this equal to sign here. When I run it, you can see that I return an error saying unexpected symbol in ggplot. So that's why I said your code must be accurate for R to execute it. Any single mistake will return an error. So Okay, you can save the output or the plot to your desktop. And then you are good to go. So next is correlation with core plot. So ideally, we are supposed to load read Excel and core plot.
Hello,
Those,
Dr. Sam.
yeah,
Can you please, Dr. Sam, can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Now that you have finished the ANOVA with R, can we do it with AI before you go to the next one? Because a lot of people are complaining they are lost.
Okay, okay. All right.
Is that okay? All
Yeah,
right,
it's okay,
thank
it's
you.
okay, it's okay. So let's go to our AI. All right, let me slow down and let's go to our AI. Let me minimize, then go to ChatGPT, right? So first, we'll upload the data set. Data set is in desktop. Yeah. Perform and ANOVA. And Duncan multiple range test for hardness. Again, ASPB. Okay. Uploaded data set and give Can we see the prompt? After uploading the data set, perform an ANOVA and DMRT. DMRT is Duncan multiple range test for hardness against vacuum stipple blanching in the uploaded data set and give an output in bar chart format. For those of us using the plus version of ChatGPT, always set it on high. If you set it on instant, it will give you a very quick response, which in most cases might not be very, very accurate. So you can see implementing one-way ANOVA and Duncan multiple range test, calculating ANOVA and the MRT with bar chart. So those are the steps it's taking. First is read the spreadsheet analysis guidelines and API quick start, and then inspect workbook structure, table ranges, values, and formulas. I can always advise us if ChatGPT is taking time to give you output, wait for it. The longer it takes, uh, the better the quality of the output it gives you. When you see the workbook contains 5 BSPB levels 0 to 4, each with 3 hardness replicates. The preliminary ANOVA shows a strong treatment effect. I'm now formatting the DMRT means separation output and chart. So we can see for this is like ChatGPT is taking longer time than R that we use, right? Means you can work even faster in some cases using your R as long as you have the right code. Most times once ChatGPT activates these Python plugins, it means it's doing what Python programming language will do normally. Python programming language is another programming language just like R. Encounter an error and it has to run again. So while we wait for it to generate and give us the output, okay, it has. All right, it has given us an output which we can preview. Normally, I should be able to download it, but I think my network is giving me a little issue. But in most cases, I want ChatGPT to draw this directly without without using Python, right? I can just prompt it, give it a follow-up prompt to draw it. So you can see that ChatGPT has drawn and even added some error bars to it, which we can also save, right? So we can see that R also gave us a similar output, even though without error bars. If we need error bars, we need to include it in the code. So moving forward, let's go to correlation heat map. So the first code to the fourth packages to load is read Excel and Copilot, but we have already loaded read Excel before. We have also loaded Copilot. But if we are to use this script editor to run the command, you can come to that specific line and then run command. Come to specific line and run command. R runs your command line by line. It doesn't combine several lines together to run command. So line by line. So after loading our Copilot, we will have to run these commands, but we've already done it. We have to run read Excel, rename the data set, and then convert the data set to numeric data. So that's the next thing we will do. Numeric data equal to my data and blah, 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 blah. Once you enter, it shows in the environment that numeric data have 15 observations of 5 variables, as can be displayed or can be seen here. So you can see the replicate and the factors did not appear as numeric data because of the command. Like I said, no one should get confused. If you want to run a correlation analysis on your data set, just tell ChatGPT to generate R codes for correlation analysis using plot, and then it will generate this same code that I'm using. So next we'll calculate the Pearson correlation coefficient using this code called matrix, called numeric data. And then it has run the correlation. You can see hardness against hardness, strong correlation, springiness against springiness, strong correlation like that. And then hardness against springiness, 0.8, which means yes, they are correlating, even high correlation, but a little difference. So next is after calculating our core matrix, we need to plot it so as to visualize it clearly. Copy this code. So you can see for core plot, you can see a very long code. You can see a very long code. If there is no error in this code, it will give us our correlation heat map, as we can see in this plot. Right? Well, this plot is showing almost every of the correlation in red is because all responses are correlated together. They have strong correlation, strong positive correlation, which is almost 1. And if any of the correlation is, let's say 0.2, the color intensity will have reduced according to this color bar. And if we have any negative correlation, it will have been plotted as blue, depending on the intensity. Right? So to use ChatGPT to run this correlation, we can just prompt it this way. All right. Perform a correlation analysis on data and Draw the correlation heat map. Draw the correlation heat map. So perform a correlation analysis on this data set and draw the person's heat map. If you have another correlation heat map that looks very beautiful and you want ChatGPT to format it to look like that particular sample that you give it, you can upload that correlation heat map and tell ChatGPT to draw it the same way as the one uploaded. So you see, it said the pricing correlation analysis has been completed using all numerical variables in data set. Variables included VSPB, replicate, hardness, springiness, cohesiveness. The key person correlation findings are so. So very strong negative, very strong negative, strong negative, strong positive. We draw it. Draw. So we can see now because in our R, we didn't include VSPB and replicate. That's why we had all colors the same. But ChatGPT included VSPB and replicate, so it gave us a better output. Which we can easily download and insert in our manuscript. So next, let's go back to R. I just want us to focus more on R this evening. Let's run the linear regression with the base RLM. So
That
all
is
these, yes?
That is fine. Hello,
Yes?
sorry. Before you continue, please, before you continue, can you give us a guide on how to get a code so that using AI, so that we can use the code to now do the next one ourselves? What do you think?
All right, all right.
Yeah, the step by step on how to get it. So imagine you just open an R and then everything you need you copy and paste on
Okay.
AI, and then they give us the code. Then we'll do it together. We have 10 minutes more to the end of the session.
All right, let me just copy this. Then let's go to ChatGPT, right? Well, say generate R codes for linear. I copied linear for linear regression with base RM using the uploaded data set. So we can see generate R codes for linear regression with base R. This base R is a default package and you don't need to install. So give me a short code. So we can see the codes. First, library, read Excel. 2, data. You can copy these codes. You can copy this code and arrange them in the script editor. Copy. And paste here. Right? Then you can run each of the codes. But remember, I always advise us to use other words to assign to our data set because data itself is a word or a command that is in R, is a default command in R. So in most cases, if you use data as the name of your data, it will always return errors. So we can change this to my data equal to, and then data here equal to my data before running. So run. We run. And then summary of model we run. So we can see that the code generated from ChatGPT has given us correct linear regression. If we need the coefficient model, that's the equation, right? We can run, and here is it, intercept. Right? And then next is we want to plot, but I would like to use ggplot to plot, not this normal plot. Okay, we can use this ggplot code. Say if it, yeah. I specified to ChatGPT that I will use ggplot using both base LM and then ggplot to plot the regression output. It will have given me a code that will give us this output. I can see here. This is the regression model output. All right, so let me quickly run the PCA. Also, like I said, these codes are ChatGPT generated codes. I only formatted it for this webinar. This is how the codes will come. So you can extract the code while removing all these headings to make it compact and easily readable. So first step to do here is numeric data. Then PCA. All these are codes which I will share with us, with every one of us. So we can always run it to see if our R will give us the same output. Now, we notice after running this command, R didn't give me any output. Rather, it's wrote this plus sign. What this plus sign means is that the command is not complete. So R is waiting for the follow-up or the completion of that command for it to execute. So I can copy the other part of the command and then run. Now we can see that R has executed the PCA and given the PCA output. So to visualize this PCA, we need to plot. But in this case, we are not plotting with ggplot. Rather, we are plotting with factor extra using this code. This code was also generated by ChatGPT. So we can see the PCA. Right, with R. So depending on how you want your PCA to look like, if you have, like me, what I usually do, if I'm writing a manuscript and I want to present my result in a certain way, I will look for any published article that has a similar result presentation. I will copy that result as picture and upload to ChatGPT to tell it to give me R codes that I can use to run my data set to have this type of PCA results or this type of PCA presentation. So ChatGPT will know the kind of codes it will generate, or it should know the kind of codes to generate that will give you a similar figure. So we can still prompt ChatGPT to perform PCA analysis on the data set and give me an output like the one uploaded. We can add any PCA results. Let me check desktop if I have any. So you can see this is a PCA biplot and see my prompt. Say perform PCA analysis on the data set and give me an output like the one uploaded. So if it is R code you want to generate, you can also tell it to give me R code for my specific data set to give me an output similar with the one uploaded. It will also do that. You can say draw it. Anytime ChatGPT draws directly, it gives you a very nice output. You can see, I can still tell it to draw it directly. So we can see that ChatGPT has given us a byplot of our data set. Something very interesting. We can see the PC2 of 4.46, 92.24, and then 92.2, 4 points. So you can see that both are giving us the same PCA, right? Which means the results from ChatGPT is valid. That from R is also valid, right? So depending on what you need, because some people are always scared of submitting figures, images that are generated directly by a generative AI or ChatGPT, as the case may be, or any other generative AI. However, if you can use ChatGPT to generate code to use on R to give you that similar output, yes, I think it's ethically very, very okay, because you can always present the back-end codes that you use. But in most cases, when you generate image from ChatGPT or any other generative AI, you might not be able to give the back-end files for another person to reproduce. That's the argument. Reproducibility, right? So that's why we should always try to leverage on several other uh, packages, several other applications to work in synergy with your generative AI. So we will not completely or solely rely on AI alone. It's very, very important. AI is not to replace our analytical skill, but is to help us to be more efficient. Especially, for instance, in this, we are trying to run some packages with R, run some analysis with R. If we had to generate these codes by ourselves, either maybe by, like the first time I used R, I got all the steps I followed from YouTube. But it took me time, it took me days for me to be able to come up with a good correlation plot. However, now if I need to get that particular correlation plot within 5 minutes, once I upload my data set to ChatGPT and tell it to give me or to develop or to generate codes that I can use on R, I can easily present my correlation plot within a short period of time. And that's why within 10 days, I can develop a manuscript, a complete manuscript, once I've finished my analysis. Within 10 days, I can develop a complete manuscript, right? Because I have learned how to use both generative AI and other conventional tools efficiently. And whenever you check my published articles, you will see very, very nice figures. And recently, during one of our research group meetings, I presented my results, and my supervisor was very, very happy. And he made a comment in Chinese that Samuel's figure have become better. That means he was comparing my result presentation now to the result I used to present before. All because I've learned to use these tools effectively. So, having said this, let me give us some opportunity to ask questions so that we can look into it together.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Sam. So if you have questions, you can type in the group. Dr. Sam, I wanted you to show, like, for someone who doesn't have any knowledge of R at all, maybe I just installed R on my system, and then maybe you could have showed us step by step how to copy the code and then be pasting step by step on R to be able to do the analysis ourselves. Because you know how R is, can be very, very, very I don't know, maybe I'm the only one that don't like to see the code. But do we still have time for that? Because we already used the 8 minutes out of our time.
Okay, does anybody ask questions? So if there is none, then
So
I
if you have
can.
a question, you
Yes.
can.
Yes, I have a question.
Okay, you can ask your question. Either you type or you
Okay.
say.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Dr. Sam. Really
Thank
appreciate your effort.
thank
Yeah, I
you.
just quickly want to ask in terms of what is the confidentiality of uploading my data, for example, in the GPT in terms of or any AI model at all? How does the confidentiality of my data is being preserved? And moreover, is this not, is it ethical? And I hope it will not also affect issues with basically confidentiality issues. What I'm concerned about. What is your take on? Thank you.
Okay. If you are using a personal generative AI model, not a shared version, right? Your confidentiality is secured. But I always advise people to delete any raw data they've uploaded to any generative AI, especially when you are using a shared account. Especially when you are using a shared account. ChatGPT will not take your data and give it to others. No, it won't do that. Except if you instruct it to do that. It will only use your data as a training model for itself, so that in subsequent chats that you have with it, it will remember. I don't know if I'm responding to your question correctly.
Yes, sir.
And then,
Yes, sir.
yeah, talking about ethical concern, right? And that's why I will always tell us not to rely solely on generative AI. Do not ever rely solely on generative AI, but use it effectively with other tools. For instance, in most cases, when generative AI gives me an output, let's say for a graphical abstract, and I discovered little lapses in that graphical abstract, I won't force the generative AI to give me a perfect graphical abstract. Rather, I will use that opportunity to add one or two features on that figure, on that image. So by so doing, I have added my own portion, right? Which means I have taken care of any ethical concern. However, if you just solely depend on AI, there is tendency that the figures will be flagged by journals. Right, so that's why you should always try to add one or two features using tools like Adobe Illustrator or even PowerPoint. If you can take your time with PowerPoint, you can add one or two features in your images, and that will make your work ethically okay and free from AI detection flags. I hope I answered your question rightly.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Doctor.
You're welcome.
Well done, Dr. Sam. I don't
So
know.
in the
Can I
absence
say,
of
can
any
I
other
say something,
question,
Jennifer?
the end
A question.
of the
I have a question.
so
Hello.
Dr. Omar, say something.
Yeah, Dr. Jennifer, Dr. Sam, thanks a lot and well done for the good work.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah, I maybe based on the responses from the comments as well and from the questions raised by many people, I think when next we are like organizing something that has to do with tools, maybe we can try to like separate, the like to make it in parts, not just on a single presentation like this, because I have noticed also Dr. Sam was trying to rush some things because of the timing. and there are lots of things to discuss, lots of things to show to, most especially the new people that they are just seeing, they don't know really about the R. And also that I think maybe next time if you are going to do something like this, you can share, even if it is a dummy data set that people can use and they can be following you, not just to be looking at you doing it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's quite challenging for new people actually that doesn't know how this thing work. And I, in the participants as well, I saw Dr. Aliu from he's a faculty member from BUK. He was my teacher as well. He did his PhD here, and now I think he's doing postdoc. I don't know whether we can say hello to him, because it's actually an honor for him to. I don't know for the other people, but I've noticed him because I know him personally.
Okay, Dr. Aliu.
Yeah, Dr.
We
Ali
are
Idris
highly honored to have
Muhammad.
you in this platform today. We are
Thank you, sir.
very, very grateful. Yeah,
I don't
welcome.
know whether he has recognized me.
Thank you very much. It was
Yeah, I
an
used to be Dr. Nala, Professor Snellado student during masters.
oh, mashallah.
Yeah.
All
Okay,
right,
Dr. Sam,
so
thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Umar. Thank you, Doctor, for that contribution. We'll look into your comments later.
Yeah, I have a question.
All right.
I don't know if I can share my screen. It's not. I wanted to show you like my screen.
Okay, you can
Where
go ahead.
where to go from, like from the word start. Where to go from there?
Okay, you can go ahead.
Can I share my screen?
Yes,
It's
do
disabled.
that. Do that.
Okay. It's disabled.
Oh, we can't see your screen.
Yeah, it's disabled. It is disabled.
Okay. Let me.
so while we are waiting for him, so somebody what's your question? You said my question is just on the PPT. Could you share the app you use, especially in adding those icons, because most of the items are not available on the PowerPoint. So Dr. Sam, I guess you use AI, or do you have anything to say about this question?
My PPT.
Yeah, your PPT. Your
Yeah,
PPT was
for
really
you to
nice.
learn how I do my PPT, you have to come for personal training. Yes, that one. You have to come for personal training. It's not something I can just say here on the platform.
He's
Okay.
asking, did I as our AI tutor? Tell us the truth.
Definitely, I use AI, but not just telling AI to generate PPT for me. So that's why I said you will need a personal coaching.
Have you updated it? I still can't share.
Yeah, I'm
I still,
trying to check through
the
the
settings.
settings, yeah, to see how to make that possible. Okay, all right. Okay, try it now. Are you there?
Oh, so someone is
Hello?
asking for.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
So
you.
if you need,
Okay.
so
Can you see my
it's
screen now?
group, you will see the Samuel area on the group, all right? Somebody is
I can't
asking
see
for.
it.
Can you see my screen?
I can't see your screen. What's
Is it visible now?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. From
Yeah, but you need to control what you share.
okay. This is R. This is R, the R app, right? Software rather. Can you see it?
I can't see it.
It's not clear.
It's not very clear.
That's-
What you are.
Your screen is still showing the Zoom. Can you go to the, where do you want it?
I wanted to show
Can you go to
the
Click on the
click on
specific
the
window
app?
you want to share.
yeah.
Don't
I'm
share
on this.
your entire screen. Stop
Or
sharing
you can
and
just minimize this one, then go to your app.
Okay. Can you see R now?
no, not visible.
Okay. But my question was like, if once I open the Arrow software, where do I go from? What step do I take to start getting those commands those
Okay,
codes
those
you were
commands.
bringing out?
Okay, so you stop sharing. Let me share. Stop sharing. Let me just share
Okay.
the R so that
Okay.
I'll just show us one or two things.
Okay. You can remove it. You can remove me.
Okay, no, don't worry. I can always share even if. Can you see my R?
Yes, I can see your R.
Can you see my R? All
Yes.
those codes I was copying,
Mm.
right? I've prepared them before. So I was copying them from a Microsoft document, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. It's not that ideally I'm supposed to type. You can see, let's say I want to view my data set. I can type view,
Mm.
right?
Yes.
My data, then I will run it.
Okay.
Oh, it's came up with shoot an error. See if I can do. Okay. Let's say, let me read the data again for viewing. I'm able to write this code because I know it before, right?
Yeah.
Because I know it before.
Okay.
But what I'm trying to tell you people is that you can generate this code using your generative AI.
Okay.
You see, I just run a code.
Yeah.
I was sure of it, you understand. So
Yeah.
I can rename this as my data. Like I said, if you are using a Windows device, you can just click press both Alt and minus to give you this assignment operator, right? Then you repeat the same thing here, or you can copy it. You can copy it. Right, so want to see if my data is well loaded. I'll check the head of the data set. Right, you can see, because I know this code, but some of the complex code might be very difficult to memorize. They might be very difficult. Imagine this, for me to plot PCA biplot, right? You can see it's a very complex code. So for you to run this type of codes, just tell your generative AI to generate the code for you. Once it generates the code for you, you can import it as like this. You saw how I imported this code, right? And then run it line by line. Run it line by line. Come to the line and then run. Okay. Right? You come to the line and run. You come to the line and run. Right? And these are codes that were generated by ChatGPT. Okay. Yes, those are the codes it generated for us. You understand? Run. Yes. So it's gave an error here. So sometimes if ChatGPT generates codes for you and then it still returns an error, you can copy the error and the code and prompt ChatGPT with it. So ChatGPT will automatically know that you have run this code and then the code returned an error. So it will give you a possible reason why you saw that, you got that error, and then generate another code for you. Okay. Right? So R is not that very difficult. Just look at R as an operating system, like your Android 14.0, Android 15.0. But on that Android, you don't just work on Android just like that. You have to install softwares. You have to install softwares like Twitter. You have to install softwares like WhatsApp. You understand? You have to install softwares like Microsoft Viewer, right? What you are. And then once you do that, those softwares you are installing are these packages now that we are loading. You understand? Once we install them and load them, you will now use that package to carry out any specific analysis. So now any analysis you want to carry out has a specific package for it. You understand? You don't just use. But you have to download them. You have to download them. Yes, you have to download them in the R. You just download them by once your computer is connected to the internet, just type this command: install packages. This one, right? And then you type the name of the package. You can even tell ChatGPT to suggest a package for you. Okay. You understand? You can tell ChatGPT to suggest a package for you. Say, maybe I want to run a PC analysis using R. Suggest a package for me. Okay. You understand? So once it suggests that package for you, you can now install that package that ChatGPT suggested for you and tell ChatGPT to generate a code for you that you can do this analysis using this package. You understand? And ChatGPT will still generate the code for you that you will use with that package, and then you get your good output. Okay. You understand? You can get your tailored codes, get a specific output you require. Okay, thank you. You're welcome. Is there any other? Dr. Umar?
Yes, doctor.
All right. You can give us a closing remark.
Oh,
Yeah, since there's no
well,
more.
it's I think we just thank everyone for the effort, most especially you. Special thank you to and the participants, also our outstanding moderator for today, Dr. Jennifer. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much for your efforts. And we don't have much time to discuss much to say much. It's already 9:30.
Yeah.
So yeah, we well till we meet next time. And if there are some topics that can be suggested by the participants that we will look into, then they can share in the group as well.
And then
Yeah,
for
thank
those
you.
of us that are not yet in the WeChat group, you can always indicate. You can add our WhatsApp or add our WeChat so we can get you on board. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Omar. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you to every participant and for everyone that has contributed in one way or the other. We are really honored. And special thanks to Dr. Aliu for joining our webinar today. So having said this, I wish us more breakthroughs in our research and more publications, because that's my ultimate goal, to see how I can teach us how to write academic manuscript with ease and to publish in very good journal. So from all of us at the organizing committee of this webinar, we say thank you and goodbye till we see in our next webinar again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Daniel. Good to see you today. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Aliu.
Thank you, Dr. Samuel.
Thank you, Doctor.